What's up, YouTube? We back. So we're gonna do a review of the truck. And get a chance. Finally got a chance to talk about it. We'll get into rims, paint, engine, interior. Talk about some things that people don't talk about, you know, for whatever reason. But we're gonna talk about it. Stay tuned. All right, we're back. So we're gonna get in a few things. C10, you know, when I go to some of the shows, you know, some of the questions I get asked first is that stickers. No, it's not stickers. I bought the truck 2015, April 2015, and of course it didn't look like that. It was more like a Pro Street. It had the little weld drag light wheels on it, just a static drop. The paint was probably 10 different color shades of white on it, you know. Bought it from a guy in Houston, back and forth text messaging, and he told me it had this and that, you know, and he came up with a price, and I said, look, man, I want the truck, you know, and went over there, and he tried to tell me it was like 400 horsepower. Come to find out, you know, when I drove it, it'd have been lucky to have 200 horsepower. But I was there with the money. I liked the truck. It's what I was looking for. So I bought it, you know, and I had one of my sons. He was kind of into the car shows. So I was like, well, I'm going to give me something else to drive, because I always had some show trucks or cars or motorcycles, something fun. And at the time, I sold all my toys, and I'm like, I'm going to get back in it, you know. And I bought it. Brought it home, you know, and this guy was like, it got Lunati bottom end forward, this and that. I took it apart, and it had Lunati nothing in it. It had a Lunati cam in it, that was it. Some old camel hump heads. I tried to give it some more power, so I put like a YN144 blower on it at the time. Brought it cruising the coast, I think it was 17 maybe. Blew the engine, might have been 16 at that time. I blew the engine, and so I needed another engine. So I bought blueprint engines already made for Boost. It was a 383, it was 440 horsepower, something like that. And put the blower on it, put it to the dyno, brought it to a guy local. You might have heard of Earl Snyder, you know, he did pretty good. And I don't remember exactly what he put down to the ground. I think it's not a dyno jet he has, it's maybe the Mustang dyno. And 380 some horsepower to the wheels with that little blower. But it made like some kind of astronomical torque, 600 and something foot-pounds of torque at low RPM. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I want to say it was below 3,000 RPM. But what happened, that little blower runs out of boost real quick and gets real hot real fast. It's a little street blower made to go on real mild engines, nothing that was built for boost. So I wound up taking that off, and I put a supercharger, Torque Storm supercharger, and at that time, Torque Storm was just coming out. And it was okay, man. And compared to that YM blower, that centrifugal supercharger was pretty good. It would pull throughout the RPM range. But what had happened with that was it was too much horsepower for what I was trying to do. You know, I think it was 625 horse at the crank. What it was advertising on that engine, because then one of the horsepower TV or something did the same engine with the same supercharger. That's why I even got it, because I saw it. Made 625 horse. And I always had problems with the tuning, so I took all that off, man. I got introduced to Phytech, and I got the 1200 PA system on it. And there was always an issue with it, and nothing to do with Phytech. It was always my issue that, you know, eventually I learned. It's always something I did wrong, you know, versus intake leak, exhaust leak. When you got a little leak like that, it takes whatever that problem is and it amplifies it, okay? And it makes it something that you're not gonna think it is. But once you get it all hooked up, you know, the correct voltage, correct wiring, all those leaks fixed, man, it's an awesome system. And I'm sure Holly works just as good. It's just Phytech. That's what my buddies were using. That's what I use. That's what I know. So the engine was great, but man, then I start messing up different shit. You know, when I got the power, you know, I took off the Mickey Thompsons with the drag lights, and I put me some raceline wheels at the time, some 22-inch raceline wheels. Me and Earl, I went to take it for a run one time at the dyno, and I snapped the axle shaft, tore up the driver's side bed, tore it all up. Brought it to Taylor Potown down there in Burberry, Cecilia area with intense hot rods. He fixed my bedside, painted another shade of white, you know, to match the rest of the shades. And drive shaft, I think 3 times I broke the drive shaft. So me and the wife brought it to cruising the coast again. And wind up, it was overheating. The fuel started boiling, you know, vapor locking. Wasn't made to sit in traffic, it was made to run. You know, it had a turbo 350 transmission. Brought it home. I threw the belt off a couple times. When it throws the belt off, it throws the belt for the water pump. So the last time it did it was a Sunday afternoon. We was trying to go eat. It's like, I'm done with it. I put it in the shop, took the engine out. One buddy said he wanted it. He wanted the engine. I sold him the engine. I had got another 700R transmission from another buddy that was built. It was nice. I gave him all the parts, man. Like 6,000, something like that. Which was a very good deal because I had more than double that in it. Gave him everything, every small block Chevy part I had. And in the meantime, I was looking for an LS engine. And I found an LS engine, and it was, what I wanted was, I wanted the computer, the harness, I wanted everything, the transmission with it and everything. Everybody was telling me get the LS2 before they did the air fuel management system, before Chevy did that. And everybody was telling me you want the 4L80 transmission, you know, the heavier duty transmission, but I couldn't find both together as a unit like that, you know. So I finally found this company. It was called like Lee C Parts. It's in Maine, Massachusetts, somewhere up there northeast coast. And they had a 06 GTO engine straight out of a wrecked car with the 4L60 transmission, harness, gas pedal, everything. You know, I think it had like 100,000 miles. I bought it. It cost like, I don't know, it's pricey, 7,000, but that was with shipping, everything. But it had everything I wanted. Shipped it. My good buddy went pick it up for me, brought it to my house at the shipping place, and brought it to my house while I was at work. And took the engine apart and started building it. And it sat on jack stands for about 2 years along with the truck, you know. So we get into the truck. I'll talk about the engine later on, but we'll talk about that. But the truck, the paint job, I had a good friend, high school friend named Chad Boudreaux. If you want some paint, good guy, good, reasonable price. I said, man, I want to get my truck all one color, solid white, you know. So he said, man, I got you. So he did that. He painted it all solid white, and I got to talking around. And they got a local guy here. His name's David Ludwig, and man, he's an artist, you know, and he does painting and he does metal fab, things like that. And became good friends with Dave, and Dave drew me up 5 different designs. His company, I'll show you his logo in just a second, is Air Art Customs. You can find him on Facebook, Instagram, things like that. And he drew me 5 different designs. I mean, he freehand drew this, and he told me pick one. So this is what I picked, what you see right here. And this guy, he freehand taped all that. He stuck the little picture he drew me on the window, and he freehand taped that. He airbrushed that. So everybody's always asking, is that stickers? Like, no, they come up to the show and, man, it's paint. I tell you, in the sun, those graphics really pop. That goldish yellow color is got some metal flake in it. It really pops. It's kind of hard to see in the shop, but he got some cool shadows and stuff on it. And so he did the paint job. I liked it, you know. It's about time to get a redo on it, you know, touch it up. And talk about the wheels now. When I originally did the truck, I put 22s on the back, 20s on the front. And put the Ride-Tech suspension front and back. You know, Ride-Tech has the 4-link on the back with the shockwaves on the back. Shockwaves are pretty cool. They're adjustable for your ride, say, stiffer or softer. In the front, it's tubular A-arms in the front with the airbags, and you got the Rytech shocks that are adjustable how you want them. So I brought my truck to Rick's Rides here local in Lafayette. They wanted to, I had them put air conditioning, and then when I ordered the wheels, they wasn't gonna fit in my tubs in the back, and I did not want to cut my bed. That was one thing I wanted to keep the body lines. When Dave painted it, I didn't want him to get all kind of crazy on the graphics, because I love the Chevy body lines, the box style body lines. Make it look like something pop, and I want to accent that back wheel. So I wanted, you know, the design to go around that back wheel, as you can see. And I had Rick's Rides narrow the rear end, and I want to say it was like 2 inches on either side to fit that wheel. The Chevy square body has 13 inches in the tub. I got the rim 12 inches. So I bought the wheel, they put it in the tub, they measured flange to flange. Had them not narrowed. Had Mauser make the fucking axle shafts. Cut it, 12-bolt rear end, cut it, make the axle shafts to fit in it. Came out pretty good. And then later on in life, I got tired of the 22-20 setup, and I put a 24 in the back with a 20 in the front. Now keep in mind, guys, for whatever reason, this was like sacrilegious for square body guys to tell you their backspace, and you know, everybody wants that deep look in the back, but nobody never wants to tell you the backspace or whatever. And Raceline maybe does it different now, but at the time, the most backspace, the biggest lip you can get was they did backspace 4.25 inch, 4 1/4 inch in the back to give it that deep dish look. Maybe they do 2 inch now. I don't know. It's been a couple years I had these wheels on. Maybe they do something different. I don't know. But at the time, that was the biggest lip you can get, even on my 22 and on the 24. So 24 by 12 with a 4.25 backspace on that back, if you want it to look like that. All right. On the front, I did the most backspace to have the smallest lip, so it could tuck up under there. I put slosh tubs in the front so I could put a 22-inch rim, and if I wanted to sit it on the ground, I still could sit it on the ground and my wheels tuck up in the fender. But the back, I can't go no lower because I didn't want to cut it, and the center section of the axle just about touches the bed. I mean, it's very close. So that's the lowest I can go in the back without C-notch. And I got a mini notch in it, but not C-notch in my bed. So that's the lowest I can go. The front, I could put all the way down. Like I could sit the cross member down. I still got the bump stops, and I cut the bump stops, and they're sitting on the bump stops. So that's how it sits. Back when I did all that, I did AccuAir, and that was before they went out of business. That's when the CVT tank was first coming out. I'm sure you guys that got an air suspension, y'all know about this. CVT was the new thing. The air compressor was inside the tank, super quiet, Come to find out, it was garbage, and it actually probably made them go bankrupt. It was too much voltage going through that little tank, you know, that little, I guess, compressor, and it was burning them up. And they had this lifetime warranty or some crazy, and I sent it to them in California back one time. It cost me like $150 to ship it. They shipped it back on their dime, fixed it. Probably worked another 6 months and went out. So by that time, AccuAir went bankrupt, and somebody, I forgot what the name of the company over there in Florida, they bought it and kind of redid their own thing. But they got the AccuAir, but they don't have the compressor valve tank, the CVT. They only got the VT now, the valve tank. So they made this conversion kit to where you take the compressor out the tank. It still has the valves internal, which is nice and neat, but you got to put your own compressors. And I put 2 Vire 480s or 450s, I don't remember. But I tell you, man, nowadays they're super quiet themselves, and they air up twice as fast as that CVT ever aired up. And I got him in the bed right there, and I would like to put him under the truck, but my train of thought was, if there was a problem, I could fix it right there. I don't have to be trying to figure out how to get underneath my truck with it all the way down. So that being said, we kind of go over it a little bit, and you can see these wheels, man. You can see the wheels. I don't have much room. I could barely fit my finger, and that's what this end is rolled. I could barely fit my finger in there. You can see the wheelwood brakes. That's a conversion kit from Little Shop Manufacturer. Man, I tell you, give them guys a holler if you need some parts for your C10 or any kind of thing. They'll custom make whatever you need. They sell that as a kit, and I guarantee you're not going to find a better deal to do a disc brake conversion kit with wheelwood than Little Shop Manufacturer. I think I did all 4 disc brakes all the way around, wheel wood, with the slotted rotors. And this is, you know, some years back, $800 maybe, if that. I mean, you can't buy that no more. Also, this is what I did. You can see my valve tank. See my two compressors. These are my battery kills. I got 2 batteries. Yellow tops right under the bed under here. When I painted it, my buddy Chad, he put the smooth skin on for me. You can see that. Already had the inside handle, as you can see right there. Y'all was asking about who does the airbrush work. That's my guy right there, Dave. Give him a holler. Same thing on the front, guys. You can see how sharp that lip is on that wheel wood. You can see they tuck under there good. Also, sludge tubs. I get asked this probably the most. I was just at Cruising the Coast. Where that front end come from? Where those wheel tubs? You know, it's better than trailer tires. That's them right there. You know, firewall smoothed out. Still got my AC. Got me some cool brackets made. Local machine shop did those brackets for me. I just drew a design. They machined it out of key stock. Custom did my lines. Doral fans, as you can see. I'm gonna change out that brake boost. I'm gonna put wheelwood brake boost to billet aluminum. Get it matching the rest. But that's it. We're gonna get in the engine a little bit. I love the stock grill, so that's what I'm doing. I'm not a billet fan on the grill. We can kind of talk about this interior. Oh, I still got all my stuff. But the interior was done 100% by me, except for the seat. You can see. The seat was wrapped by old man out here in the country. He had some material. I mean, it's a little dated, but I'm gonna get it redone. That center console was done by me. I did a bunch of YouTube videos looking it up, how to build it. These kick panels, I did them. That's the first time I ever messed with fiberglass in my life. The other side, you can see my E level right here. You can see my Phytech, got it going right there. Also, guys, check it out. Matching steer wheel from Raceline. Stereo system behind, 210s, 2 6x9s. I got 4 6.5s. And I think 2 3.5s in the dash, something like that. Door panels, basically stock tinted windows. That's it with that. I love the old style, and I might redo my interior. Been talking about it lately. Redo the interior later. Who knows? But that's where we at with the outside the truck. Talking about little shop manufacturing. The first set, here they are. The first set that they ran. And hood hinges. That's them right there. Get rid of them old ugly springs. They made a lot, I forgot how many, 200 or 300 sets, and that was the prototype. That was the first set from the group that they made. I love them, I tell you. And I see other companies, they copy them. Copy what they got now, you know. But little shop manufacturer, guys. Y'all get at them guys. Let's see. Engine wise, guys, this is what everybody's talking about. I wanted something that sound mean. You know what I'm saying? That's chopping up the block. And but it ain't gotta be mean, you know. Good horsepower. If I want to get on it, that's what I want to do. But dependable. That was the most thing I was looking for. So. Got the LS2. The LS2 come out of a GTO. GTO had a different oil pan. I think it's outside. You know, wouldn't fit on the truck, so I got a truck oil pan. Of course, I got the Corvette engine covers. I got a GTO engine cover too. They both universal. It was the same engine, 05, 06. It was like that transition when they went from Gen 3 to Gen 4. Mine's the Gen 4. The cam sensor is on the front of the engine. The NOx sensors on the side of the engine. That was right when it was transitioning all that. Instead of the cam sensor being on the back, the NOx sensors being on the top. This is a little bit different. I went with Phytech LS. I got the box somewhere. Somewhere. I know it's here. But anyway, I got the Phytech. There it is right there. Phytech 7051, something like that. Let's see, I'll show you. That's the model right there. 70,051. That's the model. So it's basically a standalone engine management. Comes with the transmission controller. We'll talk about that, guys. The transmission controller, everybody's get the 4L80, I got the 4L60. That engine bone stock came with 400 horsepower. 4L60 held up to 400 horsepower just fine. All my buddies running them, just fine. Now, if I was bringing it to the track, if I was racing on it, I getting on it hard all the time, yeah, I probably need the 4L80 or need to get this one built. I put this one in bone stock like it came from the factory. It works fine. It ships fine. The only thing I see that I need to probably maybe either do my gearing, because I still got the factory 308 gears with positive traction, so I never change them. Or I need to put a stall. It got the factory stall. And the only thing I notice is if I leave from a dry stop, I mean it moves, but it's not up in the RPM. Till it gets to 3,000 RPM, that's when it's really gonna sit you in the seat. If you're in second gear or third gear and you get on it, man, that back in a squat, you know, RPMs is up, back in a squat, it'll really get down, you know. It's loud, it's noisy. We get into that a little bit. I got, I think it's an 1 7/8 headers, come from Speed Engineering. A lot of people hate on them, but man, I tell you, it's for the money. I don't remember what I paid, but they weren't that expensive. You're gonna pay some quality headers, man, $2,000. They was nowhere near that. 400 bucks, maybe 500 bucks. I don't remember what it was. Nice welds on them. I welded the V clamps on them. They're stainless steel 304. I got some 3-inch stainless steel pipe and boiler attack exhaust. I welded it all myself. I welded V-band clamps where I can unclamp them, take them off, put them back on as needed. The sensors, let's talk about sensors. Everybody think you just plug an LS sensor. No, that ain't right. I'll tell you, I'll show you real quick. These are sensors I bought brand new. This is a crank sensor. This is the cam sensor. They look just like the one that came on the engine. I hooked everything up, went to start. Man, I was scratching my head. Nothing was started. It did like it wanted to start, but it didn't. I changed out this crank sensor. Guess what? I put the factory one back in, started right up. I mean, this sucker looked identical. Same pin out, everything. Started right up, but I could never get it to rev up, but it started, it ran. I mean, it was smoke his ass off. I couldn't figure it out. So I changed out this cam sensor. I put the factory cam sensor in. It still did the same thing, you know, could never figure it out, So another thing that I did, the map sensor. The LS2 map sensors all the way in the front, the engine. And I didn't dig through the box when I was putting everything together. So I got this wire harness from ICT Billet. It's an adapter, you know, go from different plug to different plug, so I could use my Phytech wiring harness and plug into the factory map sensor. Great, looked great, hide all the wiring, whatever. But the truck would never run right. I started up, the minute I give it gas, it died. So I started looking through the box, finally gonna read the instructions, right? I find they have a map sensor in there. So I'm like, man, what the hell? I said, let me just try that. So I ain't plugged this. I just plugged the map sensor, laid it on the intake, started up, that thing ran like a clock, rev up, everything. So what I did, I left the map sensor in there. I don't know, we'll look at it again. I don't know if you can see it in there, but I left the map sensor in there, and I took the Phytech one, and I ran a hose from the back of the intake, because I didn't want to drill a hole in my intake, because there's no way to put it. Some of the truck intakes, there is a spot you could drill in, put it, whatever, but I didn't do that. And it's like a remote. It's a little block. You plug the map sensor in, the other side you plug a hose, you got a barb on it, put some little hose clamp, boom. It's hidden behind the engine. You can put it anywhere you want. I got mine hidden behind the engine. Works great. The next thing was the IAT sensor, inlet air temperature sensor. Instructions say that it needs to go in the intake. There again, on the LS2 intake, there's no spot, and I didn't want to drill a hole. So what I did, guys, I had a, and then again, that didn't come with a sensor. That engine never came with that sensor. So I bought a sensor like off of Summit. It plugged in. It looked just like the Phytech one. I would always get a code, you know, fault. It would always get a fault. And you know that it's always trying to adjust the air temperature coming in, so your tuning is always kind of a little bit off. So what I finally did, I bought the one from Phytech, directly from Phytech. Plug it in. Guess what? Fault is gone. So I'll show you what I did with all that. Instead of putting a hole in my intake, I said, what's the worst? I put it right here. Straight on the elbow, you know? Straight on the elbow. It's just measuring intake. It's temperature, it's not measuring pressure, none of that. My front runner, I forgot where I got it from, but at the time when I bought it, it was around COVID time, the front runner system. They didn't have Holley. Holley was out of the front runners. I couldn't find nobody. So this one was pretty cool. I wanted it with my alternator right there. I wanted it with my AC on this side. I didn't want nothing by the frame rails. You see guys have their AC compressor real low by the frame rails, and some people, they got to notch them. I didn't want to notch them. Another thing, guys, that people for whatever reason don't want to talk about, I used T-Haas cross member for the transmission, T-Haas motor mounts. I didn't have to do no modifications. Okay, I mean, they said it brings the engine about 3 inches forward, an inch or two higher, and you can see that's exactly what it does. Look how much room I have. I mean, this is the whole front runner, and look, and look how much room is in the back. I don't know if you can see it. You see the bracket right there, the little aluminum? That's for my map sensor. That's it. That's my adapter. Yeah. So that's what I did motor wise. I went to O'Reilly's, found some radiator hoses. I don't like these hose clamps. So I use these heat shrinks. You got to get the hose snug on it. It got to be tight, but you put that heat shrink on, I guarantee you ain't coming off. It ain't coming off. I made all my own fuel hoses. As you can see, these are ICT, these are billet specialty little hose clamps. These hose clamps, custom made at the machine shop. This one, this one. But those little ones right there, billet specialties. Of course, you can get all the steel braided hoses that you want. These letters, got that from RPI Designs. Quality stuff, customer service up. Take it from me. Of course, custom painted car covers, both sides, by Dave Ludwig. Came out super sweet. He took a minute to get it done, but man, he does a nice job on all his stuff. The little deal that goes through, I can't remember, but you can search it up. They're on all over. That's made of billet aluminum also, but I have mine black anodized. You can get them brushed aluminum polished, however you want. You can see the A-arms, Ride-Tech with the height sensors. Motor-wise, that's what I got. Try to think what else. Inside, Dakota digital gauges. Let's see. Talk about a good little setup. I'll show you. Turn the batteries on so you can probably see. Man, I still got my truck. It's from the car show still. Everything in here. You can see them. can see there ain't no faults in that fire tech, man. It's just it's running good. Like I said, you got to make sure your wiring is up to snuff. Your electrical, you got good juice, good alternator, no leaks, intake, exhaust leaks, and man, it's gonna run. It's gonna run, and I'm sure Holly's the same way. The cam, everybody, that thing when it warms up, it slaps. But I got it from Texas Speed. Check it out. I don't know if you can see it. That's the specs right there. People don't want to tell you the spec of that cam. I don't really care. That's it right there. You want it to slap like that, that's it. Motor-wise, first LS I ever did in my life. Built some small block Chevys before, but if I could do it, anybody could do it. And everything I learned was off of YouTube. I took the heads off. I might try to put some pictures up and you guys can see. Took the heads off, put the cam in. Cam bearings look good. Crank bearings, I turned it over. I took one off. It still looked good. I kind of poured it out. The exhaust side, I cleaned up the intake side, smoothed it out. Put the, I think some 660 valve springs, hardened push rods, dual valve springs on it. Did the trunnion kit on it. You gotta do the trunnion kit. Slapped it all together. First LS engine I ever did, taking apart, much less put one back together, much less try to even start. And I tell you, man, that thing is pretty impressive on the street. Sounds good, runs good. We took it to a show this weekend, got on the interstate, 90 mile an hour. I tell you, 70, 75 mile an hour, that thing's doing 1,700 RPM in overdrive, man. That truck ain't never had overdrive. So that's it, guys. If y'all see something about the truck y'all want to know, that's it, man. Y'all let me know, and we can talk about it. Vintage air is a good system. I had some problems just when I put this engine in, leaking down, but it was my steel braided hose. Everybody don't like the steel braided hoses. I like the look, but now that I went white and black, I might even change them up to the nylon hoses, all my black hoses. Get into that later. I changed this dang steering box out the other day. Wow, what a mess. This goofy line broke off. I'm gonna change out these lines, but you can see I got me a new steering box. You know, the old one was like, whatever, factory, 40 years old. That's it right there on my floor. It was leaking and leaks bother me, so. And that's it, guys. If you guys got a C10, y'all got some questions, man, I could probably save you a lot of time, a lot of money, because just the offset on the wheels, I don't know how long and how many people I talked to about that. They never wanted to give me a straight answer, like it was top secret or something. I don't know. But y'all get at me and we can talk about it. Peace.